There is an unspoken rule that most fathers live by. Be strong. They talk about being strong, that if you can't stand up and smile even during the storm, you're weak. Don't complain. Don't complain about it. Just gird yourself up and keep walking. And then they tell, well, then just flat out handle it. And we are taught this at a very early age, and we are carrying around this weight. And some of us hadn't figured it out yet of what is going on with me. I'm doing everything that I was told to do. I'm walking. I'm continuing to carry on, even though I've got this pressure on me. So fathers walk around performing, again, carrying this weight. This isn't a character flaw, it's conditioning. And the cost of this conditioning, most fathers don't realize what it is doing until it is too late. Relentless fathers, we are going to talk about the things that fathers don't talk about. Let me ask you a serious question. Let me ask you a serious question. How many times have you opened up about things that you have been carrying around? I'm not talking about the surface stuff. I'm not talking about the things that go on in the job updates or saying, not, I'm good. Those are the things that we are carrying around when we know deep down within we're not. I'm talking about fatigue. I'm talking about the pressure. I'm talking about the things that may keep you up all night long. Well, we're going to put a halt to that today. The silence ends right now. What fathers don't talk about? I'm overwhelmed. Fathers don't talk about being overwhelmed because it makes them look weak. It makes them look less than a man. But that's not true. Feeling overwhelmed is not a sign of weakness. It is a signal that you shouldn't be carrying certain things all by yourself. In other words, we need to have some people that we can pour into what's going on the inside of us. Many fathers are balancing responsibilities without support or relief. Acknowledging overwhelm is the first step toward regaining clarity and control. I'm afraid I'm failing. See, that is something that the enemy gets inside of our heads, that you didn't get everything that you needed. Your father was not in your life. You came from the wrong side of the tracks. Therefore, it begins to make you feel as though you are a failure because you're carrying a weight with you of being overwhelmed. I'm afraid I'm failing. The fear often comes from carrying deeply, not from incompetence. Fathers who worry about failing usually have high standards and strong love for their children. Naming this fear allows it to be addressed instead of silently shaping behavior. We got to talk about this, fathers. We've got to stop thinking that if I tell somebody, they are going to judge me. But that's why it's so important to be a part of the Relentless Fathers school community, the Relentless Fathers Army, so that you can walk with men who have stories to share, and they can tell you their experiences, and then they'll hold you accountable. I don't know if I'm doing this right. That is a question that a lot of us ask when we are struggling. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't know if I'm leading my family in the correct way. A lot of times when these feelings come about, it is letting you know that there's something on you that you're carrying that you should not be carrying. You need to talk. You need to be in the company of wise men, as I said before, that will pour into you rather than on you. They'll gird you up. They'll hold you accountable. They let you know that you are on the right track, because anytime you come against resistance, that's when you get stronger. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Uncertainty is common in fatherhood because there is no perfect blueprint. Can't get it perfect. You're just working. You're just going to stay the course until you get to know who you are. And we've talked about this. You can't control what other people are thinking. The only thing that you can control is who you are. That's the only one you have control over. So you must tell yourself, I shall get better. I shall learn this. But I need to be in the company of the right people. Many fathers question themselves in silence while still showing up every day. You show up every day hurting, but you're doing this because this is what fathers do. I don't tell what I'm going through because it makes me look weak. Honest reflection creates growth, not failure. I'm tired of being strong. When we are consistently alone and we have nobody to speak with or to release to, we get tired, we get worn down, we get beaten up. Therefore, I cannot give my undivided attention to my children because there's something in the back of my mind that I am carrying around and I can't let go. So we need to understand, Father, that we need to have that release valve. Being strong all the time is exhausting. When strength is defined as silence, fathers need space to rest, okay, to process and be supported. Strength that never rests eventually breaks down. That's what I'm telling you. Join the Relentless Fathers Army School community. We've been there. We've walked this, and we want you to know that you can do this. Someone walked with us, someone poured into us, and that's what we're here to do for you. I feel alone, even around people, because again, when we are being handcuffed by the weight of carrying things that we should release, we do feel alone in a crowded room. People are there, but the only thing that we can focus on is what I'm going through. And your silence is a signal for those of us who know that you're calling out, you're asking for guidance. Loneliness can exist even in full rooms when there is no safe place to be real. Many fathers feel unseen and unheard despite being present for others. Connection begins when honesty replaces isolation. Instead, fathers suppress, they stay busy, they stay quiet, they stay guarded. But suppressed emotions, get this, don't disappear. They leak into anger, they leak into impatience, they leak into distance, withdrawal, or burnout. What we don't talk about doesn't go away. It takes control. Redefining strength. Let's redefine strength. Strength is not emotional numbness. Strength is emotional management. See, I can pretend that I'm strong. I can still smile around others. And the reason we as fathers do this, going back to what we talked about earlier, we were taught that a man ain't supposed to share his emotions. A man isn't supposed to feel. But what we've learned in this walk is that a strong man is one that does not feel. He is the one that knows how to. Because he realized that his health is involved, is that the relationships are involved, that he needs to be patient. But if I'm carrying around all of this weight, it weighs me down. And those around me will feel the effects of that. Those around me will withdraw themselves from me, and we wonder why. Because now they are beginning to see through the acting. We're inconsistent. And we can't be approached. They don't know how to approach us. But this is what happens when we don't understand strength. A strong father is not the one who never feels, but he is the one that knows how to. Name emotions without being ruled by them. Here we go. When fathers identify what they feel, they can respond instead of jump by impulse. When we regulate our emotions, we have control. When we regulate our emotions, we have strength. We are constantly talking to ourselves about how we're going to approach a situation so when things happen, we're not caught off guard. Awareness turns emotion into information, not instruction. Get the information, use it, turn it into what can be positively used, but don't use your emotions as instructions because we move quickly, we move on impulse rather than intention. So, relentless fathers, name the emotions and not be ruled by them. Pause instead of react. The pause creates space between feeling and action. It allows emotions to settle so wisdom can lead. Pausing protects relationships and preserves dignity. Pausing. I don't have to respond right away because if I respond in the wrong way, I can do more damage. If I respond in the wrong way, that is a signal that's telling me that something ain't right because I should take the information. I should take the information and use it to make myself better, to challenge myself, to pause. Yeah, it may be something that has hit me, but I need to pause so that I can respond and react in a mature manner as a relentless father. These are the challenges that we have or that we go through being and becoming relentless fathers. Don't run away from the challenge. We all have to unlearn things that we were taught. Things that we were taught. But unfortunately, a lot of us have too much pride and we don't want to say, I need help. I'm struggling. Seek clarity instead of isolation. Being by yourself only compounds the weight, only adds more weight to what you're going through. Isolation has never solved any mental condition. We need to be talking, we need to be walking with individuals who can hold me up until I'm strong enough to hold myself up and to hold me accountable. Seek clarity instead of isolation. Isolation magnifies pressure and confusion. Seeking clarity through reflection or trusted conversation restores perspective. Clear understanding replaces silent struggle. Clear understanding. We got to get an understanding about what's going on the inside of us. But if we don't seek help, if we don't tell ourselves enough is enough, my children suffers, my health suffers, my home suffers. Everywhere I go, it begins to affect that way because the more I show up with unresolved, with this unresolved stress, the harder I must act. And that is more devastating to the body than anything. Ask for support without surrendering leadership. See, what you need to understand, that is leadership. When I go and ask for help, I have stepped out of this. Oh my goodness, what are people going to think? Because as I said before, what you may address is maybe something else somebody else is going through. And now they want to talk to you. What are you doing to get past this? That's not weakness. That is leadership. Why? Because I am taking command of getting help. I am taking command of being better. I am taking command of being that relentless father. But we got to show up. We got to be committed. We got to be disciplined, dedicated, focused. All of these things help you and I to build long-term resiliency and stability. We get stronger. We go to the gym. And the only way you don't get stronger by just being in the gym, you got to grab some of that iron and go to work. Just like becoming this father, dealing with this mindset of I can do all this by myself. Well, I'm telling you, fathers, that's a weight that will eventually tear you down. Support strengthens leadership. It doesn't weaken it. Get this, fathers. Support strengthens leadership. It doesn't weaken it. It makes you stronger. Real strength is not hiding pain, it's handling it responsibly. You can be strong and honest. You can lead and process. You don't have to choose. We need to be able to get our real strength back. And real strength back is not hiding the pain, it's putting it out there and get the help you need so that you can be that strong leader that you've been anointed to be. Why does this channel exist? It's not here to motivate you, okay? Because motivation fades, good intentions fades, information fades. But the reason this channel exists is to give you structure. See, when we have structure, we have a path that we're taking. It gives us step by step instructions on how to consistently carry this walk out. There's no guesswork. We show up with a plan, knowing what we're going to do, and we're going to walk in it. Structure gives fathers a clear path when emotions feel overwhelming. It removes guesswork and replaces chaos with intentional steps. Structure creates safety when motivation is low. See, I always got to go back to my structure because my motivation isn't always going to last. It fades. We talked about that. Being intentional fades. We have to have structure so that we have a plan of attack and we're going to stick to it. Why? Because it has worked for others. They've demonstrated it for me. Now I got to walk into it so that I can be a light for somebody else, and especially for my family. Practice. As we said before, Michael Jordan didn't become the greatest, taking one shot, hitting it, and said, now I'm the greatest. No, it takes practice. You show up daily. You show up with discipline. You show up with focus. You show up with commitment. When we do that, we squash out all the chaos. And when you do it long enough, it becomes natural. You look forward to getting up in the morning because you're working on yourself. You're working on your family. Practice. Practice turn awareness into habit and habit into character. Growth does not come from knowing once, but here we go, but from repeating daily. Not, oh, well, no, I don't feel like it. No, get up, rise up, and step into the mission with that focus. What fathers practice consistently become who they are under pressure. And see, when you do this long enough, relentless father, you understand that pressure is there to grow you, not there to trip you up. Once you learn how to practice this thing and get familiar with it, when the pressure shows up, you are calm. Your emotions are regulated. You're not reacting, you are responding. Accountability. We need to be held accountable because we've talked about this all this teaching long, is that we should not be doing this by ourselves. It tears us down. It makes us weak. It affects us mentally. It affects us emotionally and physically. Accountability keeps fathers honest when it's easier to retreat or stay silent. Ooh, that word honesty. We've got to be honest with ourselves. It provides correction, encouragement, and perspective without shame. Accountability prevents isolation from becoming a hiding place. We want to be seen, fathers, when we're going through our seasons of uncomfortableness. And we want to be seen by the right people. See, there are some people that will see you and just say, man, I know how you feel. I'm the same old way. But then there are some that will see you that will say, wait a minute, I hear what you're saying, but you can change that. Come on, let's walk together. Which lead us to the next, brotherhood. Brotherhood reminds fathers that they are never meant to carry this weight alone. Shared experiences reduces shame and strengthens resolve. We talked about the birds. A bird can fly quite a distance on its own, but when it is in a group of birds flying together, they can fly so much farther. Again, healing accelerates when men walk together with honesty and purpose. You got to know why you're doing this. You got to have that purpose that, look, this is who I am. I am a relentless father. Therefore, I must train. I must practice. I must be in a brotherhood. I must be accountable, be held accountable. And in due season, things will change. That's why this message doesn't end with the most simple video. It doesn't. Man, I come before you because I want you to understand I've been there. I know how it feels not to have somebody to release to, and not knowing that I was supposed to have anyone to release to. That's why this message doesn't end with the video. And relentless fathers, if this message has touched you in a way, please right now go and become a member of the Relentless Fathers Army School community. We are building up fathers to take back the lives of their children and become their hero. But you must be consistent. Inside the Relentless Fathers community, we talk about what fathers don't talk about. Not to complain, not to vent, but to heal, grow, and lead better. We combined mental health awareness. That means that we want you to recognize what is dragging you down, what's holding you up, what's keeping you from being that relentless father. Emotional regulations. Don't be one who reacts, become one that responds. See, when we react, we're moving on emotion, but when we respond, we've given it some thought because we don't want to hurt. We want to lift up. We want to elevate. Emotional regulation teaches fathers how to slow down and to respond with intention instead of reaction. Identity works. Identity helps fathers understand who they are beyond roles, mistakes, or circumstances. When identity is clear, decisions become grounded. A strong identity anchors leadership. You got to know who you are. You got to know what you were meant to do. We are meant to be the solid foundation. We are meant to be the walls of protection. We are meant to be the lighthouse that shines before our family. We are meant to be the runway so that we will teach our beautiful gifts to take off and soar. That's what we do. This identity is not a race. This is a lifelong journey. So we're always going to be in our children's lives. We should always want to be in our children's lives. We should always take the time out to call them to say, hey, what's going on? Give, become that giver. When you become relentless, you become a relentless giver. It's not about what you receive, it's about what you give. Because I truly do believe, relentless Father, that what you give that's lifting up your family, God sees this and he will be pleased with it. And he'll open up doors and opportunities for you. But we need to understand that we don't have to carry this weight alone. Join the Relentless Fathers Army and become a member. Practical tools. Practical tools give fathers clear action they can use in real situations. They remove confusion and reduce emotional overwhelm. Tools turn insight into consistent behavior. Tools. You're not going to build a home, a house. You may have the blueprint, but you need tools. Just like rebuilding who you are, there are specific tools that you must have. You got to be patient. That's a tool. You got to be committed. That is a tool. You got to be held accountable. You want to be held accountable. That these are tools that are there for us to tap into when we make the decision that I don't have to carry this weight anymore. I'm going to open up. And brotherhood. Brotherhood provides safety, accountability, and shared strength. Fathers heals faster, stronger when they're not alone. Walking together turns isolation into connection. You don't have to explain everything. You just have to stop carrying it alone. Fathers, if this teaching resonates with you and you see the cause, you see the effective cause that this community can bring, the instructions, the commitment from me and other fathers to you, then hesitate no longer. Become a member of the Relentless Fathers Army School community. We're doing some great things. We do live events. We do webinars quarterly. There are courses in there that you can take at your own leisure with worksheets. And then there will be certificates given at completion. There are every day that there are daily affirmations that I give the fathers. And you can give some too if you want to. The community is over. We celebrate what your children are doing. Put it in the community so we can celebrate them. This is a community that's built around fathers who are that we're here for the long term. This is not short term. This is a commitment to fight for the lives of our children so that we will be the hero. Join us and let's talk and become that relentless father. Stay relentless.